In this video, we're going to cover the top 2 ways to close prospects that you got from social media. Hey there, my friend. My name's Jeronimo, and if we haven't met before, it's such a pleasure. I help network marketers that want to grow their business from 5 to 6 figures or even multiple 6 figures and beyond. In fact, my husband and I have been so very blessed to have had some pretty incredible success inside of network marketing. We built a team of over 80,000 distributors. And if you'd like to know the exact system that we use to do that, I'll go ahead and drop a link down in the description. So let's get into things. So you're prospecting on social media. You got a good one. You're talking to them, but how do you pop the closing question? Have you ever wondered that? Because I see that as one of the common questions that a lot of people ask. So I'll just share with you what I do, and it works absolutely awesome. It's simple, it's easy, and most importantly, it's effective. How do we know? They signing up. All right, so let's talk about it. There's 2 ways that I actually like to do this. What makes the big difference is how I actually show the presentation, how I show the information to them. Now, there's so many ways that you can actually share your business inside of network marketing, but my 2 favorite ones, the first one is I like to use something called ATM, which stands for add, tag, and message. And that's basically a system using Facebook groups where you add someone to a group, you tag them in a video, and then you follow up with them and do a message. And so when I do the ATM program, typically this is how it goes down. I post content on social, and my content is the type of content that brings curiosity. People are like, oh, what are you doing? What's going on? It may be lifestyle content. It may be content saying, hey, we just did this amazing thing, or oh my gosh, we took this free trip, or whatever it is. It's usually curiosity-based content. I never, ever, ever post content and I share the name of the company. Why? They don't need to ask you if they know the name of the company. So I post curiosity-based content. Then what a lot of times will happen is people will say, hey, what's this that you're doing? Or hey, I saw you did this, or I saw you did that. They'll ask about it, and then I'll start the conversation. So from there, I'm having the conversation with them, and I'll ask, hey, do you want to know more about, the products, which in my case, they were health products. Do you want to know more about the products? Or would you like to know more about, the business side of things? And they'll tell me health, business, both, all of the above. And then what I will do is I'll say, hey, I'm going to add you to a group. I'm going to tag you in a video, which is going to explain everything about how this works. And then let's talk afterwards so that I can answer any questions that you might have. Cool? They're like, yes, cool. Okay. So then I go ahead and I send them the link to invite them to the group. Then they're in the group and I tag them in the video. And then now it's time for the follow-up. Now, a lot of times what I will do is before I actually send the information to them is I'll say, hey, this video is like 10 minutes or however long it is. It's a 10-minute video, 15-minute video. When do you think you'll have a chance to check it out? Now, sometimes when I'm talking to people, they are not available. Like they are at work. Or they're doing something where they just don't have time to do it. Maybe they're driving or something like that. So let's say, hey, I'm going to be taking a look at this at, around 3 o'clock, or I'm going to be taking a look at this later on this evening, or probably tomorrow, whatever they say. And then I'll just say, okay, perfect. Sounds good. So do you want to talk maybe around, let's say they said, I get off of work at 7, I'll watch it after. Hey, no problem. That sounds good. Do you want to talk maybe around 8:30, 9 o'clock? Or I'll throw something out there that's going to be after whatever time they said, and wait for them to say yes. So then from there, they get the opportunity to take a look and we go from there. Now, here's what happens. When I do my follow-up and I start talking to them, hey, did you get a chance to check it out? Oh, yeah. And instead of continuing a lot of the conversation on Messenger, what I like to do is I like to flip them on the phone. And the reason being is, number one, you can hear a lot of things in a person's voice that you wouldn't be able to hear necessarily if you're reading it, right? So if you're text messaging or if you're messaging on Instagram or Facebook, you wouldn't really be able to get the full picture of what they're actually saying because you can't hear the inflection in their voice. So I like to flip them on the phone. Then from there, I just say, hey, here's my cell. What's a good number for you? Let's just jump on the phone real quick and go from there. And then once I'm on the phone with them, I'll kind of go through a closing sequence. So that's one way. Now, another way that I like to do is I use Zoom meetings a lot. And if you're not using Zoom in your business, I hate to say it, but you are missing out. And here's why. It's like the best thing since sliced bread. Like, it's so simple, so convenient, because not only can you use it for business, I mean, shoot, you can use it to have a coffee date with your girlfriends and they're in, across the country. I do that all the time. But Zoom is absolutely awesome. So Zoom is almost like the same thing that would happen if you were face-to-face with someone at a coffee shop. You were doing a one-on-one, and basically you just keep it really cool, really casual, go through the info that you had to share with them, and at the end, then you're gonna ask closing questions. What I like to do, whether I'm closing on the phone or I'm closing where I'm actually looking at them on a Zoom, is I always like to take down their information. And there's a couple of reasons I do that. Number one, I don't want to send them a link. Because if they're not really a tech person or they're technically challenged, like, I don't want them to have any kind of snafus registering themselves and get frustrated, okay? That's one thing. The second part of that is I would actually prefer to have more control versus giving away the control. See, when you give off your link, you are giving them control because they can just go in whenever the heck they feel like it and register, and they may register on the right pack, wrong pack, whatever. You don't know. So you don't want there to be confusion, and it's better if you can help kind of like guide the situation versus just like throwing it out there for the universe to decide. So that's what I like to do, is from there, they're ready to grow. Then what I do is I have a 5-question close that I go through. And if you'd like info on that, I'm going to drop a link because I have a closing cheat sheet and it walks you through all of that. It's the same 5 questions we use to enroll thousands of different people in our organization. I know you'll love it. So make sure you check that out. But basically, I go through the same 5 questions. Then I write them down, and what you can do is if your company has a paper application, you can go ahead and print that out just so you have that handy, or even if you're talking to them on the phone or on Zoom, you have something handy and you can go through. If your company doesn't have one, which I don't know how that would be possible, but if they don't have one, shoot, you can make one up on your computer. It's super simple. Just get all the info that you would need when you're signing a person up. Now, why do I do paper apps? Like, Summer, you are so old school. Why are you doing paper apps, girl? Let me tell you why I do paper apps. There is a lot of strategy that can be used with this. Okay, I'm gonna scoot over. Let's say that's your organization, okay? And here's what happens. If you have the type of business where you're actually able to help people in your team by placing other team members underneath them, maybe you guys have a common leg, like a binary type business, or the way that your structure is set up is in a way where you can place other team members underneath each other. Let me tell you, the paper app is freaking power, my friend, okay? It is power, and here's why. You can reverse close a ton of freaking prospects. Now, that's a video that I will get into altogether, but here's kind of the overview how it works, okay? So basically, let's say here's your organization, and let's say your next position is, here, right? And you might have an application that you're holding in your hand. You have your app in your hand. And so what you're gonna do is, instead of giving them the power, you're gonna take the power, you're gonna get the app, you're gonna get the info. Now you're gonna go back and you are gonna follow up with 2, 3, 4, 5 prospects who you talk to. They're like, yeah, I wanna come in. Yeah, I need to get my money situated. Or yeah, I need to wait till I get paid. Or yeah, whatever. They say they wanna come, but they just need a little pop to get off the edge, okay? And so now you call them, you circle back up with them. You're like, hey, what's going on? How's it going? Just have a little bit of conversation. Don't just like pounce on them, right? Then you're going to say, hey, by the way, I know we talked before and you said you want to get rolling. How's things coming with that? Hear what they have to say. And here's why I'm calling. Because I just talked to Sally, who's ready to get in and blow this thing up. And you know what? Since I talked to you first, if you go ahead and get registered now, you'll actually have Sally underneath you. Oh, fear of loss, you say. Now you have not one, but you have 2 applications. You're going to follow up with the next person. You're going to be like, hey, Joe, I know you want to get going. Well, listen, I got Sally, who's out of California. She's ready to light this thing up. And I got, Samantha, who's down in Texas, who this girl is, oh my gosh, she is the mouth of the South. She knows everyone and their brother. And I know I talked to you first. So if we go ahead and get you registered, those 2 people will actually be underneath you. So now you got 1, you got 2, now you got 3 people in your team ready to rock and roll. So that is the power of being a little bit old school. Getting putting some things on paper application, removing the confusion that that prospect might have, as well as making sure you can control and guide the situation to your benefit. So I hope you like those closing tips. For more details, you can look down in the description. You'll see my 5-question close. This is a 5-question close I've gone through time and time again to enroll thousands of people into our organization. Of course, if you like this video, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. I would love to see that. Love to hear any comments you might have. And definitely subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get all the goodness that might be coming your way. And last off, if one of your things is really to go big, like you want this to grow like it's nobody's business. You want to go from 5 to 6 figures. You want to go full time, maybe bring your spouse home from work. One of the things that I am doing and working with other business builders just like yourself is helping them recruit one top leader over 60 days to double and triple their business. And so if you would like more on the exact system that we're using to do that, and you want to know all the details, how it works, then definitely look down in the description because there'll be a link with more info on how that program works. Plus, you'll get an opportunity to tell me what's going on in your business, where things are at, and what are your goals. Until next time, my friend, go out there, live your life to the full. Conquer your fears, and let's go get everything that God has in store for you. Take care and be blessed.